What's up?
Oh, yes, indeed. We're rolling.
It's come back around.
That's right, man. It's all happening.
I'm Jared, by the way.
I'm Josh. Good to be here, brother. Thank you, man.
Sometimes part of the doing this show, just the motivation is like sitting down, like, okay, here we go.
Time to begin the recording process of the conversation we've been having for 6 hours now.
Here's to you.
Here's to you. Record a show for the working man.
Not a whole lot's gone down since talked with everybody last. I just tell my story about going out and the Braves game.
Yeah, man.
This past week, and it's gonna sound like a bitch and moan fest, but it's not, because it worked out in my favor. It was just it was a bit of a curveball. I'm baseball card, action figure, bobblehead freak. It's you need to know that.
I need you to know that. Let me tell you about my life.
That's gonna come up with us hanging out at some point in time.
Oh yeah.
Any combination of the three.
Gonna get talked on.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
Other stuff, and it's always fun to go out and there's been some misses this year. I don't have to. It's not like back in the day when I had to get all of them. There's just been some stuff this year. It's like, I don't need that, but it's Ozzy Albies Bobblehead night, so I got to be there.
Absolutely.
This past week, we're playing the Royals. I've never seen them play the Royals before.
Yeah,
So got to go check them off the list.
It's always fun to get a new team ticked. I completely agree, man. I love that. It's still exciting.
It's starting to learning to dig SunTrust Park a lot more than I have. I just with just getting down there. I mean, it's a lot easier to get to and in and out of these days. Traffic still sucks, but that's just going to suck regardless of what you do. So.
Because I would say it's because of where they built it, but it's a baseball stadium. Yeah. Traffic always sucks at sporting events, so you're totally right.
It's once you're there, everything's good. It was bobblehead night, and the typical run, even going back to the Turner Field days, like 20,000, 25,000 on some nights. So you think, okay, the curveball with this one was they were going to do it over 2 nights. It was like Tuesday and Wednesday night. It's like, I thought, well that's a good idea. It's a popular player, kids love him. Give more people opportunities to get them, because the way they made it sound and how they advertised it, when you realize that's what they were doing, it looked like they were going to do 15,000 this night, another 15,000 the next night. Like, man, that's a good idea. And I was like feeling proud of my team. Like, look at them.
They're doing one for the fans. They can doing the right things for the fans. I love you guys.
Bobblehead for the working man.
For the working man.
Just helping everybody out, because you think, okay, they usually do 20 to 25. Doing 30 isn't that many more. Plus, I mean, it ain't like you're not going to get rid of them. Turns out that's not what they did. They just did 15. It's like, okay, they spread that over the 2 nights. So it was like 7.5 over 2 nights. They went quick.
Yeah, 7,500 bobbleheads will go fast in the night.
It's like, man, they were gone. And I just don't understand why, with that player, you want to do that.
Yeah, Ozzy's a popular kid, man.
So I got there early, which, I'm a little bit of a psychopath and Josh can tell you.
Hey, man.
When it comes to bobblehead night, I'm like, the game starts at 7. You sure we don't need to leave at about 1? We're like 45 minutes away from the stadium.
Yeah, for real.
But like, I don't know, man. I need to get there about, 3:30. Sounds good? No? Oh. Okay.
Getting there, pulling in the parking lot at 3:15. It's like, I never should have aimed for 3.
That's another thing that will mess you up these days, going over to SunTrust, man. It's tough to gauge. what time to leave, because if you get there too early, you ain't gonna be able to park.
Yeah, seriously.
There's still places of business around there. They're like, man, don't even think about coming up in here till 5:30.
Yeah, they bring like one of the old school folks that's worked for the Braves for 150 years to just come out and like yell things at you. Hey, we're not playing baseball yet. You get out of here.
But it's like you'll get there, and then this happened the time before last. You see people in line walking up, and so it's like, I know where are these people parking? And the spot I usually go to is like, I'll come back at 5:30. It's like 5 o'clock. I'm like, come on, man, just take my money.
Pity, have some pity, man.
But I found that it's a lot easier place to park. Puts you right off, a lot closer to the stadium, and so it's, you know, I don't think there's the time restrictions with this spot too. That's another good advantage. So it's like one less thing to have to worry about.
Absolutely, that's awesome.
And there may very well be, but at the same time, and with this particular parking deck, man, there are people parking there all day. So you have to be able to pay to park to get in there. So you don't have that to worry about. So that's an advantage. So I found out a lot better way to do this. And if you're ever in Atlanta, just do the Galleria, and that's all you got to do.
Yeah, man.
Take the pedestrian bridge that I was nervous about taking because of stupid stuff, but it works out a lot better to do it that way.
That's what I'm talking about.
The bobble nights.
The nights. Nights day bobble.
The nights that but do bobble. One thing real quick before we get into talking about movies and stuff.
Yeah, man.
We brought up the fact that they're gonna have the All-Star game at SunTrust in 2021. I don't think I remembered to bring up the fact that as much fun as the All-Star games are, I was lucky enough to go when it was at Turner Field in 2000. I think you have a lot more fun just going to the stuff that's extra. And going to the All-Star game, it's a game at the long and short of it. I get to say I went to one, so that would be fun. I would probably try to, maybe this time, when it was in Atlanta 2000, fund-wise, just could only go to the All-Star game. Mm-hmm. And I felt lucky to do that because I think the year before it was in Boston, and I don't think the public even had a chance to buy tickets. But anyway, I went to the All-Star game, and they did a fan fest event at the Congress Center, and it's like WrestleMania Access. Go to Access if you want to have yourself a good time. Yeah. And maybe the Home Run Derby, I might try to do that this go around, but who knows? But I just double down on all that extra stuff around the game, and just enjoy the game at home. That's just the way to do it.
But the All-Star game was in Atlanta. What you just described is exactly what I got to do. My buddy Josh Brady. Josh Brady, if you're watching this, A, I hope you stumbled upon this and you're watching it. Mm-hmm. B, you're awesome, particularly for this story I'm about to tell. C, you're great, dude. I hope you find this video one day because you're awesome and you deserve to hear it. But my buddy Brady got tickets. He was working at a place called Georgia Music at the time, and Georgia Music was very, very much a big-time like memorabilia dealer. That's what they did, so they got hooked up. So we went to the Futures game, which was totally awesome because you're watching all the kids from Double and Triple A, and that was very cool. But then it's exactly the stuff you're talking about, like Fan Fest. That is the most dope thing. I got like 6 inches from Lou Gehrig's jersey, for God's sake. I mean, it's Lou Gehrig's jersey, and it's right there, and that's just one of the gajillion things that they have. It is totally awesome. If you dig baseball, and most people that dig baseball love the history of baseball. Man, if you like it at all, you gotta go. It's not Cooperstown, but it's a roaming Cooperstown.
They bring down an exhibit.
They totally do, and it's just, man, the stuff that they pack in there is just awesome. God, it's so cool.
The day I went, I saw the Cooperstown stuff. There was a guy from Russell Athletics showing you how jerseys were made. There was a Rollins guy showing you how bats were made. You got your photo made of your own little rookie card and whatever team you want to put on. And it's a lot like an access event. I keep bringing that up, but man, one of the things they had along the back wall was the pitching machine. I was like, might as well.
Absolutely.
Since we're here, and I had never been on one like this. Is where it wasn't just some guy sitting back there. Here it comes, boy. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, he's dead.
For real.
It was a video screen that you got. I think it was a random draw of who you got. It was like a Greg Maddux wind up, and you see the little, and it wasn't perfect. It was kind of herky jerky where you saw the wind up, and then the ball was like wind up pitch, 1, 2, boom, that kind of thing. I get Randy Johnson.
Oh Lord!
So it's kind of like, man, just. Come on, man.
So you did the Larry Walker where you get in the opposite batter's box and turn your hat around. Everybody talks about how funny Kruk was against Randy Johnson, and it was funny, but Larry Walker, that was absolutely hilarious, man. You got to remember, I mean, Kruk was a very good hitter. Larry Walker was an elite hitter, so for him to just throw the white flag up instantly was very funny.
Piss on this match.
For real, Ain't got no time for this.
Yeah, so
no time.
To say that I didn't make contact is pretty safe. I don't think I swung. I was kind of like, man, I'm just gonna see what this looks like.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, seriously.
Nope. And nope.
Maybe he'll walk me. Walk me, Randy.
So, by all means, do that. I plan on just doubling down on that stuff and just
heck yeah, brother.
Taking it in that way. But look forward to that coming and see what all I can check out. But yeah, man, just going to the game. I would never turn a ticket down if it's given to me, but I won't stick it out the way I did back then. I can totally dig that, man. It's one of the cool things about going to one. It's just like, cool, I've done that now. That's good, man. So anyway, that's what's up with all the baseball news. Let's fit to Brent.
Yeah, before we jump off baseball, man, just mention like the futures game, and then with something that we kind of touched on a little bit earlier at the Taco Bell, and it's how I appreciate that Atlanta's never going to be a sexy town for media coverage. I get that. That's okay. But man, if you live in here right now, it is such a cool time for like not just exciting talent, but young talent. I mean, it's crazy. Pretty much the Hawks roster top to bottom, but headlined by Trey and John. With the Braves, again, it's a big chunk of the roster, but highlighted by Ozzie and Ronald. You know, and we've got, of course, you got lovely vet Freddie, and now McCann's back too. So all that's cool. But man, there's just United. You've got Joseph Martinez, and if you actually follow that team, there's a couple of guys on that team that are very, very exciting. It's just that Joe's the one that scores all the goals. So there's that. Oh, that's another shout out I got to give somebody. I wish I could tell you what service it is, but it's basically, I don't think it's the Audi index. It might be. I don't think it is. But it's a grading system for Major League Soccer players. And they put a list up the other day of the 5 most efficient defenders in the league. And I wanted to shout out my buddy Darian Hales, because Darian and I had a conversation about Miles Robinson way back in the day. Because Miles Robinson is the first player Atlanta United ever drafted. So it's fun. Like, yeah, keep an eye on this guy. That'll be cool. And Miles has been very good his entire career, but this year he's slotted into a starting role. The kid is unbelievable. And I missed most of the beginning of the season. But Darian was telling me, she's like, you got to keep an eye on this kid Robinson. He is absolutely playing out of his mind. And so it was very, very cool to see that in print and graded out by the experts. So I just wanted to shout out on the YouTube show that when my friend Darian tells you that the kid's getting it done, kid's getting it done. I love that. I was like, that's awesome.
Write it down.
Absolutely, man. You can take that. Did the bank. But yeah, that was cool, man. All right, Miles, go on. But it's just such a cool time to be in Atlanta if you love the teams. Because ultimately, like we said, man, it's never, being an Atlanta sports fan is never going to be about the glory anyway. But just enjoy yourself. And boy, it's an enjoyable time. Well, the Bravos are bathed in glory, not so much today, but hey, that's just today. Yeah. And they're 5.5 up, and they're going to play DC, so you can. Or is it
Get
Philly?
some more separate. We were in Philadelphia this
We
week.
just did Philly. You right? Yeah,
Yeah.
man. We just did Philly, and now we're going to play DC, and maybe we can add some stuff back, man. Sounds
Yeah.
good, man. Let's do it.
Yep.
It's great. But anyway, sorry to get
For
sidetracked.
some reason, we play them a lot better there than we played them down here because every bit of ground we gained when we played them up there, they got it back.
They
when
got it
came
right
down here.
back. Yeah, man.
Maybe we can go get some more separation.
Yeah, man. Seriously. But the big news now is
Tony Kornheiser will be crying.
crying. Find me in my room, crying. But yeah, man. There's all the talk about making moves and roster. It's cool. It's gonna be fun, man. Everybody keeps talking about. How about Madison Bumgarner and the Braves? I'm like, how about Madison Bumgarner anywhere? First of all, the Giants have said he ain't going nowhere. That could be a ploy. It would make sense if it was. But everybody's going to be on the bum. I would love it. I mean, who wouldn't love it?
The word I heard was we were one of his teams on the no trade list.
Yeah,
in his
we could be.
contract. Like, fine.
We could be. I don't know if we are or not.
That
I can
was
tell
one
you.
of the cool things the other night is Keuchel pitched.
Oh, yeah.
And he had it going until, just we were playing a good team,
Yeah,
and that's just
man.
what happens. But I think it was like 2-0 or something like that. And it's a tough game.
Yeah, man. Well, the idea of Dallas Keuchel and Madison Bumgarner being the top end of your postseason rotation is, of course, everyone's up for that. But as far as us being on the no trade list, the two teams I can guarantee you are on there, and I did say are not, are Boston and the Yankees.
Oh, yeah.
All of baseball is on his no trade list. So if he's going to change his mind, he can change his mind for us just like he could anywhere else.
Yeah.
But the whole is, and this is part of the Boston, New York thing in Atlanta as well. All those stadiums are launch pads. If you don't want to go get blown up, you don't want to go there.
Yeah.
So I understand that. But anyway, it's exciting to think about even possibly getting the guy. But I don't know, and this is probably just a lack of following the team. I don't know who the young Falcon would be. Probably Ridley, the receiver they got from Alabama a couple of years. I think it was a couple of years ago. That's probably who it would be. But I just don't. Calvin Ridley. Yeah, man.
Would probably be the two that you'll go with.
Yeah, the biggest dudes there. That would make sense, man. I just don't follow the Falcons like that, so I just don't know.
Yeah.
But it's exciting times to be an Atlanta sports fan, and I can dig it. So exciting that I've been going to the movies a lot lately. I didn't go to the movies a lot lately, but I went out and watched yesterday. Because we're both Beatles kids, and so it was like, I'm going to go watch this. This is going to be cool. For the most part, it's the same thing I always say about all the music movies. Man, you sit in a nice dark theater, which I sat in by myself. I am so happy to say I got to watch the movie completely alone. It was awesome because the only thing better than going to the theater is having the theater to yourself. God dang, it was awesome. So I go and I watched yesterday, and in general, I thought it was a lot of fun. The soundtrack's great because it's Beatles songs, but I know I'm just so not difficult. I'm impossible to please in situations like this simply because you're doing a story, and basically it's the invention of lying with a better soundtrack. That's what it is. But where Ricky Gervais does the Ricky Gervais thing, and will really get into some really interesting philosophical mud holes with this particular plight. Ripping off the Beatles is not really touched on terribly much, but it just seems like it's the Beatles, for God's sake. So the idea of a planet where that does not exist, there's a lot you can do. I think there's a lot philosophically that you can do in terms of how valuable are these things, man. Even if you want to have somebody hey, it's 2018 and no one knows who the Beatles are, so I'm going to record all their songs and nobody cares.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You could literally make a commentary on, the nature. You can either go the completely timeless route of holy crap, these are the best songs ever written, or you can go straight up contemporary and put Taylor Swift on. I don't care about this. Either way, you could have a more interesting story than. I don't mean to ruin this, but it's coming.
Yeah.
And it's the part of the movie that I genuinely hated because I hate this in everything. The Beatles don't exist, so I'll write other songs and I'll be the biggest star in the world. And it'll be a lesson for me to go back home and hook up with the girl that's always liked me. And I can't stand stupid, dumb romance stuff. I don't like it because it's way overdone. And also, it just seems like a world without the Beatles. You can do a lot more interesting things than just, wow, I really liked her all along. And it's freaking Lily James, which if anyone's ever seen Lily James, I guarantee you ain't nobody ever turned her down for a date, ever. I know I complain about that all the time, but it makes me crazy. It makes me crazy. It's
I'm
like
having no trouble suspending disbelief. Wrapping my mind around the world without the Beatles. That's hard enough.
Yeah, you telling me Lily James can't get a date in this world too? That's just unrealistic. Y'all crazy.
That's a monster. What if that would have a rippling effect of so every other band that they inspired exists.
They actually do a fantastic joke on that very subject,
Okay.
and there's other things throughout that they just throw in.
Mm-hmm.
But it's interesting. I don't want to ruin that joke because that's one of my favorite things in it. All the Ed Sheeran stuff is insufferable, absolutely insufferable.
So.
There was no need for that whatsoever. I hated all of that.
I heard that cameo was kind of like LeBron James in Trainwreck. Like, this is a little bit overdone.
Oh my God! If you think LeBron in Trainwreck is too much, you ain't ready for old Ed. Because I mean, he's a player. He's in it. Like, dude, this is awful. Oh, it's awful. And then there's not ruining it. I don't want to give away like certain details. If you've seen it, you'll know what I'm talking about. The guy that he goes to visit at the beach at the end. That was a horrible inclusion for that movie. That was terrible, especially in the era of. Well, they really sanitized Elton, and they didn't get into the dirt on Freddie. Okay, well, if you want all the warts and all to be out there, you need to be up in arms, pitchforks and torches over this crap, because you talk about a cat that history is trying to revise, at least in this version of the story. Oh boy, and I love the guy, but I'm telling you, so I don't know why stuff like that frustrates me, but at the same time, with musical biopics, I do like stuff like this better. I like
more of a story.
Totally something that's doesn't have to be about the people.
Yeah,
like it's very cool, very cool.
I'm looking so forward to the Bruce Springsteen.
God dang right, man, because they skipped the biopic route.
Yeah.
It's like this is so much cooler. I'm with you. I can't wait.
And that's still based on a story that happened with this dude, but never heard anything about it till I saw the trailer. Like, now I've got to see it.
Oh, totally, man. The first time I saw that preview, I was like, okay, this is cool. And then the second is like, Buddy sits down in the cafeteria. It's like, oh, this is cool. But the first scene in that preview, when they start putting the lyrics up on the screen, I'm like, oh man, baby, I can't wait. I cannot wait for that one to come out. Excuse me.
I haven't made it out to see yesterday yet. Just how on my list of stuff to see, and I got that feeling that I think this past weekend was one of those weekends. If you haven't seen it by now, you probably just better wait for the streaming services.
That's kind of where I really thought that I'd waited too late. I was very happy that the local theater still had it, because one of the quasi-local but not exactly local theaters had already gotten rid of it. And I'm like, God darn it. But fortunately, I was able to sneak in there and watch it alone, and it was great. The experience was great. The movie's very, very fun. And the guy's really good. Like, it's, Beatles covers are sometimes they're almost too sacred and people don't like Beatles. He does a really nice job. He's got a cool voice, and it's cool. They also, and I'm just getting all my shout outs in today, man. This is a shout out to my buddy Danielle, who is in Amsterdam right now. And it's that they play a lot of the older stuff, because we do it too, man. Jared and I are both like Beatles front to back. It doesn't matter. We like all of it, but the old stuff we particularly love. And with Danielle, that's the stuff she likes. The freaking LSD hippie trippy stuff doesn't do it for her, man. It's like the rock and roll early stuff. Like, yeah, they used a lot of those, and I'm like, oh, right, man, this is cool. Because those are still unbelievably great songs too.
If you're gonna do, okay, I'm living in this world where the Beatles never existed, and I got to remember the lyrics. That's the ones that I could probably get most of them down.
That's
some of the later stuff. I'm kind of like, it gets all abstract and kind of weird. So I don't know the lyrics nearly as well.
That is an excellent observation for someone that hasn't seen the movie, because the process of him like rewriting all the songs delves. It's a lot like what you just described. That's a really good get to have not seen it. That's awesome.
I just the I get, for lack of a better word, the more poppy stuff. I could probably spout those off.
Yeah, I want to hold your hand. That's 9 words.
Yeah. But when you get into shoot, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds and Mystery Tour and stuff like that. Like, I might not be able to get you. Well, if it's playing,
Yeah.
then I can recall
totally.
it.
Oh, yeah.
It's easier said than done. When it doesn't exist in this world, how am I going to do that?
Exactly. You can't Google the lyrics, so it's like, but it's interesting. The one that like plagues him pretty much the whole movie is Eleanor Rigby, and it's like. It's while he's sitting there humming it and trying to get to it, I'm trying to think, and I'm like, I don't know what that lyric is. It's like, wow, that's a really good choice, y'all.
Yeah.
But good, very good stuff and fun. Definitely worth watching and worth your time. Just for the soundtrack alone.
Yeah.
Which you go watch a movie based on music like that. That's okay. If that's the only part of it that I like, that means I can still love that movie. It was cool. It's just the romance ticked me off because I just thought the allegories you could have gone with. There's a lot bigger stuff there, man, and I would have dug that. Tons of good previews. I saw lots of good previews, most of which I've already forgotten about because I'm dumb. They did have Blinded by the Light, which I was thrilled to see again because I've got that on YouTube. I've watched it like 12 times because I can't wait. But there was another one. Shia LaBeouf's in a new movie with Dakota Johnson, and it's called Peanut Butter Falcon. And I don't want to get too much into what it's about, but it looks absolutely fantastic. I mean, like really, really fantastic. It's very much, and they even mentioned this in the preview, one of the reviews, and it totally makes sense. It very much has like this kind of modern Tom and Huck vibe to it. Hard to explain, but Peanut Butter Falcon, man, that looks cool. That one looks really, really cool. And I'm happy for Shia because I know he's supposed to be nuts, but Shia LaBeouf took his Transformers money and is like, now I can do whatever I want to, and that's what that's what that looks like to me, and I'm excited, man.
We have such a poor, pitiful child star. People forget how young that dude started.
Oh yeah.
When it comes to the, pass on the flip out trip, like. And I think people have forgotten that about him. It's like, man, this guy has been around for a minute.
Dude, he was.
I think anybody would kind of go a little bit crazy.
Yeah, it's interesting. Joe Levitt's the other one that nobody ever thinks of because he's just like the most level. The guy's never in trouble. Never has a hair out of place. I mean, he's just a nice, straight up dude. But that dude, he was a little kid when he was on Roseanne. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure, I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure Shia LaBeouf was the one that was the mascot in Freaks and Geeks that broke his arm, and he was really young in that too, man. Like, wow, this is cool. But if I think of any more of them, I'll spout them out. I really should have written them down because there were several that looked quite good, but I don't remember them because I'm not smart.
That's part of what you look forward to with going to see I don't know if you want to call that an independent movie, but a lower, less wide release.
Oh yes.
Is you're going to see some of those trailers that you ain't going to see in front of this Disney
in game, man. Yeah, dude. I totally agree. It's always nice because, there are certain studios that just crank out great stuff, and so when you go and watch one of their movies, you'll see other things that's come from the studio. It's great.
In the home video days, when you rented some of the more obscure movies or the direct-to-video stuff, you're going to see the trailers that you're not going to see anywhere else.
That's the truth. I totally agree.
I look forward to those. It's the same principle.
I completely agree, man.
Yeah.
Love that mess. The other movie story is that it is Criterion season at Barnes & Noble, and I always love the Criterion sale, especially in the summertime because I can go buy them for myself. I don't get to partake of the Criterion sale in November because my birthday's in the first week of December, and then there's Christmas. So I try to get my list out early so I can get all my requests in, and my mom and my brother and my sister-in-law are incredible about running those things down for me. But it's still fun to go out and shop for yourself too. So I like to try to do it in the summertime. I usually give myself 5 movies. That's $100, and I can go out and I can do that. Now this year I actually wound up with a 6th one, but it's because I had a lot of Amazon points. And of the movies that I have purchased, I'm pretty sure, if I'm remembering correctly, I've only ever actually seen one of them because the first thing I got was Blue Velvet. To put Blue Velvet out, it was like, gotta have Blue Velvet. Excuse me, let's do Blue Velvet. So Blue Velvet, and these are not the ones I bought. The ones I was going to do I was all excited about Blue Velvet, Hedwig and the Angry Inch, and Do the Right Thing. And Blue Velvet, unfortunately, is the only one I wound up with. But the other two are relatively new releases. I will put them on the Christmas time one. Won't be a problem. Yeah. So it's all good. It's just like, okay, well, let's do Blue Velvet. So we did that. And then, what did I wind up doing? I made like 3 different trips. I did the Blue Velvet. I went to, I'd ordered the one off Amazon, which was Tampopo, which I completely forgot to look for when I bought Blue Velvet. I'm still mad because I actually wound up going back to the store and they had it. I could have just bought it, but it's okay because I wound up getting a bonus. The Reggie Miller winning time, 30 for 30, about how the Knicks absolutely hate Reggie. So cool bonus. That's good stuff. And also, I need to use my points anyway. So there's those 2. What else did I wind up with? When I went back, I said 6. I think I did. Shoot, I'm sorry. I'm forgetting one. Oh, I know what it was. The second day I went back, I got Paris Belongs to Us, which is an old, like, 1961 French New Wave staple. Never seen it before. I'm interested in it. I got like 40 minutes into it, and then I had to leave. But it's everything good and everything bad about the French New Wave in this sense. As far as, like, the idea of new and different protagonist. That came from the French New Wave. The downside is that those protagonists all have to be 25 years old and super skinny and super good looking, and it's like, well, you get the good and the bad, because this whole, like, young, pretty protagonist, that's where it all came from, and it's a little frustrating because I get burnt out on movies where everyone looks the same. I get tired of that stuff. I like variety. I like diversity. So take the good, take the bad. Facts of life. Yeah. So I'm up to 2 now. The other one that I got when I bought Paris was Throne of Blood, which Throne of Blood is Kurosawa's Macbeth. Mm-hmm. So I'm stoked about that. I've never seen it before. Love Shakespeare. I like Kurosawa. I'm excited about this. Build them together. I'm super excited about that. I had like the Olivier Richard III too, but it was like, let's go with Kurosawa this time. Because Richard III, the unbelievable Ian McKellen one from the 90s, that one I have, and Bloodsucker's awesome. So anyway, there's those 3, and then, no, we're up to 4. Sorry, I forgot I threw in the Amazon one. Blue Velvet, Tampopo, Paris Belongs to Us, Throne of Blood, and then today I went and got, I guess it is just 5, but that's okay. That's good, because I don't need to spend that much money for 6. But the one I bought today is Babette's Feast. I've always wanted to see it. I'm very excited about it. And ultimately what pushed me over the edge, because Amazon always has Criterions for a pretty good price. They're about $22. And as long as you tack on winning time to get it shipped for free, you're okay. Because if you don't, it's going to cost you $6 to ship it anyway. Anyhow, that stuff is cool. But most of them are $22, $23. Babette's Feast is $40. And I'm like, I don't know why this is costing more. Probably doesn't mean anything. But I wanted to see this anyway. I found the store where you get it, because Barnes & Noble's website's a little bit, it's not tricky. It's just like, it's okay, but it's not great.
Oh, it's not good. It's tough. Search just plain doesn't work.
It's tricky. It's very difficult to find stuff on there. Or I have a difficult time finding stuff on there. But the huge plus side is, by God, when you want to check a store's inventory, it will tell you point blank, yes, they have it. No, they don't. This store has 2. It's awesome. That part's great. If you ever crack the code of finding what you're searching for.
Sacrifices that must be made.
Yeah, they'll tell you where to go to get it, man. So that was cool. And the other stuff today, I almost bought 2 today, and I decided not to. And I'll tell you why. It's actually worked out great. So I got Babette. That's what I went for. I knew I was going to get it. Babette's Feast. Come to me. Very, very cool. I came very close to getting, I forget the man's name, but it's called A Life in 4 Acts. It's Paul Schrader. It's about this Japanese playwright. And it seems extraordinarily cool. And I had it in my hand, but I just decided that I would do better to not spend the money on it, and I'll get to why in a second. They also had Roma by Fellini, and that one I would have bought because I really wanted to see it, but I was telling the man the packaging was damaged. And so I'm like, honestly, it's like, I don't think it would have bothered me to have the packaging damaged. It's just like, cool, here's the excuse I have for not buying this. It's ridiculous, but I felt like,
that stuff sometimes.
Yeah, it let me off the hook. So I was like, great, no problem. But what happened was, I can't believe I keep forgetting the man's name, but I've got Tomohiro Ishii stuck in my head, and it's not Ishii. I'm sorry I forgot his name, but it's A Life in 4 Acts. Paul Schrader. Very cool, unbelievably fascinating box art. That's the reason it caught my eye to begin with. I'd never heard of the movie before, but just the packaging was so cool. I'm like, what is this? But in looking it up, trying to find out what was up with it, man, just see what's Amazon got this one for? Because again, if there's a price gap, I'll jump on it. But the first search that came back, man, was not the disc itself. It was, you can rent this for $4, and I'm like, that's what I'll do instead. Then I will just rent it and watch it on my phone and ride my bicycle because I'm way too big and I got to get back on riding the bike. Put movies on. It's a great way to do it. Burn a lot of calories that way. So that's what happened with that one. It was like, oh, this is awesome, man. And I wish I'd been smarter, and I wish that I had done that with Paris Belongs to Us, because I just want to see it. I don't know if I want to keep it or not, because we've discussed probably on here before, man. I love Criterion stuff. I like having date movies where it's like this. I'm going home, I'm drinking wine, I'm watching this. I love doing that. But it doesn't mean just having Criterion stuff doesn't mean I keep it.
I was that way for a while. If it said it, I must have it. But you end up with a lot of crap, a lot of stuff that it's kind of like, man, I don't need this.
Yeah,
one.
man.
And especially when there was a time when some of those DVDs got to a point where it's like, man, this is just dumb. What you can get for this to not send it on.
Yeah, that's what happened to my copy of Alphaville, man. I got rich off Alphaville. It was unbelievable. And at the time that I sold Chungking Express, it was Chungking is it's very strange because it came and went and then came back and went again. It's the only one of the Blu-rays I've paid over the odds for, and it was fine. I did not mind at all what it cost me, but it's just one of those things where, man, when they put that sucker out, it was out for about an hour and a half, and if you didn't get it, you didn't get it.
Yeah.
And fortunately, I found this little.
It's never gonna happen again.
I found this little used bookstore that had one, and they were awesome about it. It was great. That thing is in good shape. I love it. I love Chungking Express. I really, really love that movie.
I love the Criterion stuff just because they do really interesting stuff in a really high quality way. And I remember there was some, I don't know if it was Buena Vista or one of the companies that was trying to do some type of special collection release stuff. It's this one time in particular, this guy was, and I think it was back in the Borders days when you go up to the counter, and I'm just the type, I love the self checkout because I don't want to hear your opinion about any and everything I'm buying. Just ring it up and we both want the same thing. You want me gone? I want to be gone. Let's make that happen as quick as possible. That's how I try to, in certain situations, just try to treat everybody that way. You want to be gone? I want you gone. Let's make that happen. But it's just real kind of shitty about it. I don't think Criterion is the best format for some of these movies. And it's like, well, tell me a better one. It's like, you didn't have an answer for that, now did you? You just, something about the Criterion he didn't like. Well, tell me who's better. Because there ain't nobody better.
Yeah, I ain't never come across anybody I thought did half as good. I love their stuff, man.
So, but that was the thing back in the day. There were certain ones that you just kind of knew, okay, they're not going to have this license very long.
Mm-hmm.
And when it got lost, stuff went out of print. It's like, man, that's why some of these movies that you may be on the fence about, they're a good investment because you can always swing them and probably, double, whatever you paid for it and put it towards something else.
Yeah, there's been a couple that, man, with the relaunch of Blu-ray and things like that, it makes me sad for Salo, the 120 Days of Sodom. I mean, that thing was multiple hundreds of dollars.
Yeah.
And now you get it. It's just part of this. They had the other day when I was at the been again 3 stores. The one in Noonan, man. They did both formats, no problem.
Yeah.
The other one, I think Repo Man was like that, and then the other huge one as far as the Blu-ray just messing everybody up is freaking Sid and Nancy. I saw a copy of Sid and Nancy go for $800 one time. Yeah. And it's like, now they've re-released it. Now it's back out. And it's like, that's brutal, man. So I don't want to, I'm not big on, I don't like to aftermarket them if I don't have to. Chungking Express was my one exception. It was no problem. It was good. And I think I got it for $35. So it was it was even, I mean, it's less than it would have cost me if it was new, if I didn't have the deal on. Yeah. And it's great. So I'm totally okay with that.
It was before the streaming services. and maybe that's something that Criterion will look into, is having at the very least, a channel uh, to show the stuff that they have licensed. I don't think they have the license to that extent. Like, you can produce them, you can't just show them. But there was a time when if you wanted to watch certain movies, that was the only way you was gonna get it.
It's the truth, man.
And that's why even now with some of the stuff they're putting out, I'm still gun shy about buying some of them, because like I'm a sucker for a good box set, and the Guillermo del Toro stuff, they've already done one set of his, and they put out Pan's Labyrinth. I'm like, just give me a few more, and I'll just buy the one that has all of them in there together. And same with the David Lynch stuff. It's like, I don't need all the movies, but I know y'all gonna put out the ones that y'all have under contract in a set at some point in time. Just do that.
It's possible. It's possible, man. Like my favorite Criterion box set ever is for pizza Whit Stillman, because the Whit Stillman one, it's awesome because you've got quite literally just 3 of his movies that they put out at totally separate times, individual spine numbers. It's all good, and the box set therefore does not have one, because usually the boxes do. Like the Kieslowski trilogy, it's literally, I mean, you wind up with 4 numbers because each movie's got one in the box. It's crazy. It's crazy how they do it that way. It's neat though. But yeah, man, with like the collections and whatnot, because my thing with Dave is Dave's already come and gone, so it's like I'm not waiting around. So it's like, and I'm with you, I don't have to have all of them. Because the stuff of his they've done is Firewalk with Me, Eraserhead, Blue Velvet, and then there's the documentary about him. Well, the 2 that I want I already have. Firewalk with Me I have in the Twin Peaks Blu-ray box set, which it is in there. People always say, it wasn't in it. Well, it's in, I'm telling you, if it's Twin Peaks and it wasn't the Showtime stuff that just came out, it was in that Blu-ray. I'm telling you, it's all in there. Eraserhead I love, but I've seen it. It's just, I know I will never watch it again, so it's not a thing. And Blue Velvet I love, so I wanted it. And then Art of Life I had to have, because that was my Kickstarter. It's the only thing I've ever put money into, man, and it turned into a Criterion DVD. Like, sweet, hook me up, man. But shoot, I don't remember what else I was going to say. But that's pretty much it. I'm very excited. It's crazy because I've got lots of movies to watch, and I need to do that thing. What I'm going to do is assign them all heads and tails and flip, and that way it's like, here is the order you must watch these in, because that's the one thing that I mess up if I buy more than one thing. It's like, it's like, oh man, I get like anxiety over, like, you got to watch this, you got to watch this, and it's like, nah, man, Paris is first. You're watching it right now. Then you can assign everybody else, get them watched, be all gravy.
Okay.
Heck yeah, man! I'm excited. I love this time of year. I love Criterion sale, and I'm still way behind because, good lord, man, I was in the store for like almost an hour each time trying to make the decision, and that's with having shopped at home. And it's like, this is not easy. This is not an easy decision to make.
Yeah. That's just fun to get out, and I'm still a physical media.
Me too.
And I don't buy nearly as many as I used to, but it's still fun to get out and shop around and just see what you can get.
I'm the same way. I don't buy nearly. I'm with you. Not anything like I used to, but the Criterion stuff I still love. And there's things here and there I still like. The Criterions are the one thing that I absolutely must get Blu-ray on. Everything else, excuse me, if the DVD is going to save me some money, I'll just do that. I don't mind. And then we talked about animated stuff. There's absolutely no reason to ever buy an animated Blu-ray ever. It doesn't work.
Difference.
Absolutely. Unless the only time it would ever work is if they would actually maximize and use Blu-rays for what they were invented for. And it's like, hey, Batman the Animated Series on one disc. Yeah. And I mean, they're still going to charge you for a series. It's not like that, but man, if they would just like max out the space on them, that'd be great, man.
It's, for all of us, on shelf space, it's at a premium.
Dude, yeah, my stuff's starting to fall off. That's been one of the huge fallouts of the sale, as my CDs I've had to move a little bit.
Man, that was the issue of DVDs getting as cheap as they did. Is you come home from wherever you get them from, you add them to the stack that was already there. Like, I've got a problem.
Yeah, seriously, I got nowhere for this.
This is not good.
I got nowhere for this. This ain't no good.
Yeah.
No daggum good. But yeah, the thing about like my deal is once the Criterions come out, I'm good. But unfortunately, there's a lot of tweener movies that I'm like, what if they do Criterion? You know, it's messed up. Like the last time I got not burnt, but caught with something was Darjeeling Limited because I loved that movie, so I bought it as soon as I could. Yeah. And knowing it's Wes Anderson, they do all his stuff. I should have waited. But it worked out okay because our buddy Julie had just gotten back from India and it was like, hey, you take this and it will free me up to go and buy that. And it worked out great. So that was awesome, man.
Help me. Help you, help me, help you, help me.
Yeah, serious, totally, man. But give me an excuse. Just give me an excuse. But on the subject of having deals with certain directors, man, one of the big ones, like on my mind, because I always love on the Criterion website, they will ask you on your little profile or your account, pick 3 movies that you wish we would do. Mm-hmm. And Squid and the Whale had been my number 1 forever, and they did it. So I'm like, okay, well, cool. Now I'll move stuff up. And I think it would probably still be my top 3. I might need to move it around now, man. But Big Night is one of them. I would absolutely crap if they would make that because I love that movie. I wish they would do that one because they are doing Coen Brothers stuff now. I wish they do. Excuse me. I wish they do Barton Fink because I love that movie and I think it's really underrated and I would love to see that. And then my third one has rotated and moved around a little bit, but they're doing so much of Jim Jarmusch's stuff now that I'm hoping they will get to Patterson because that was an incredibly cool movie. And I've come across it a couple of times and I'm like, I have that hang up. Like, I don't want to buy this because they're going to put it out and then I'm going to be mad at myself. So if I come across a cheap DVD, I might pick it up. But man, I hate getting caught in between. It's one of the best things about the Wes Anderson deal because now it's just straight away. Like they just come out and I'm like, oh, thank God you don't have to wait and see if they're gonna do it.
That's how it should have been.
Yeah, I wish they would do that with more people, man. But it's that good stuff.
Yeah, man.
Good stuff. They really have done a ton of his crap. I was thinking about the other day, and it's like, it's the only Jarmusch movie that I own is Mystery Train. But they've done, I think, darn near all of them. I don't think they did Ghost Dog because Ghost Dog, unfortunately, was in that corporate independent movie era of the late 90s where
Miramax one.
It could have been, but probably so, where you've got 27 different companies now fighting over the distribution, so you'll probably never see it again. It's the Lost Highway kind of situation because I think they're still fighting over that because whatever, man. I got a copy of it. It's fine.
It worked out for me.
It's cool, man. That's one I wouldn't mind them doing. Oh, I forgot to mention Mulholland Drive on the stuff of his that they've done. They did Mulholland Drive, and I got that one too. Because who doesn't have Mulholland Drive? It's great. Who doesn't like that movie? It's awesome.
Good.
That'd be difficult if I had to rank Dave's stuff because it just changes depending on when you watch it. But anyhow, Patterson. God, I hope they do that. Excuse me, that movie was fantastic.
Yeah, man. What's going on?
That's exactly what's up, man. Have a good one, y'all.
Barry.
Thank you for watching.
We have to make a movie.